In the shadow of the rugged Sierra Nevada mountains, near Lake Tahoe, stood the quiet town of Truckee, where a man named Elias Crow lived alone at 32. He was tall and broad-shouldered from years of trail work, but inside he felt permanently weighed down. His storm-gray eyes carried loss, and his chest was never free there, was always a pressure there, tight and heavy, as if guilt itself had taken a permanent seat inside him. 5 years ago, a wildfire had taken everything from him. His wife, Mara, and their 6-year-old daughter Lily, trapped while camping as flames moved faster than anyone predicted. Elias survived with burn scars on his arms, but the deeper wound was invisible. Every breath reminded him that he lived while they did not. He often replayed that day in his mind. I should have turned back. I should have protected them the same, thought, tightening his chest, again and again. Since then, he lived in a small cabin, guiding lost hikers by day and sitting alone at night, staring at old photographs, feeling the same crushing weight pressed down on his lungs. On a freezing morning, January 24th, 2026, clearing the attic, he found an old journal belonging to his great-grandfather, a prospector from the 1890s. Inside was a hand-drawn map leading to Shadow Ridge and a warning about the Echo Stone, a relic said to hold the voices and emotions of the lost. Most called it a legend, but to Elias, already drowning in grief, it felt like a last chance. Maybe he could hear Mara's voice again, maybe Lily's laugh. He packed his gear, entered the frozen wilderness, and followed the map through snow and silence until he found the hidden cave and the glowing crystal inside. The moment he touched it, visions flooded him, lives ending in regret, love cut short, and finally, a dying miner whispering, "Tell my son I tried." At that instant, the miner's regret slammed into Elias's chest, merging perfectly with his own. The pressure became unbearable. His breath shook as he realized the truth. This pain wasn't new. The Echo Stone wasn't creating it. It was exposing what Elias had been carrying in his chest since the fire, the guilt of surviving, the regret of not saving them, and the sorrow he had never allowed himself to fully feel. The moment Elias touched the Echo Stone, visions poured into him without mercy. He felt a dying miner's regret as the man whispered, "Tell my son I tried," and that regret slammed into Elias's chest, crushing his breath the same way it had every day since the wildfire. Then came a lost child's voice, echoing through the forest, calling for a father who would never arrive. And Elias collapsed to his knees as fear, loneliness, and fading hope wrapped around his heart. More lives followed, a mother singing a final lullaby through tears, a soldier whispering an apology to someone he loved, an old man saying goodbye to the land that had been his home, each memory layering more weight onto his chest until he was shaking, sobbing. The moment Elias touched the Echo Stone, visions poured into him without mercy. He felt a dying miner's regret as the man whispered, "Tell my son I tried," and that regret slammed into Elias's chest, crushing his breath the same way it had every day since the wildfire. Then came a lost child's voice echoing through the forest, calling for a father who would never arrive. And Elias collapsed to his knees as fear, loneliness, and fading hope wrapped around his heart. More lives followed, a mother singing a final lullaby through tears, a soldier whispering an apology to someone he loved, an old man saying goodbye to the land that had been his home. Each memory layering more weight onto his chest until he was shaking, sobbing, living every love and loss at once. A dark presence finally whispered the truth. The stone-bound emotions forever Elias would carry their pain, or let them fade into silence, refusing to let them be forgotten. He wrapped the stone and fled the cave just as snow collapsed behind him, sealing it forever. The journey back through the blizzard nearly broke him, but soft echoes guided his steps. And just once he heard Mara's voice telling him he was enough. Back in his cabin, when he touched the stone again, the pain softened into warmth, showing him only love. Mara smiling, Lily's small hand in his. Months later, Elias began sharing these echoes with others who had lost loved ones, and his words helped heal wounds he could not see. When treasure hunters came for the stone, violence was unnecessary. The emotions inside it overwhelmed them, forcing them to flee broken by sorrow they could not escape. Now, Elias sits on his porch, watching snow fall over Lake Tahoe. Listening as a final echo reminds him to share the light when he is ready. He knows other stones may exist, other stories waiting to be heard. And if you felt these echoes, if this journey touched your heart, subscribe now and continue walking through the wild places where memory, loss, and healing still live. The mountains are speaking. The past is calling. Don't let the echoes fade.